Good evening, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is TitaniumBuilt, or Tanya. It's great to see everybody. You get on the chat part here so I can actually see the chat. There we go. Good evening to everybody. Let me kind of just go through a little bit and see who's kind of here already. Kelly D says she's here. She's ready. Catherine, hello. Hi, Catherine. Leslie, I see a lot of people are in here. Amber, good evening, everybody. Leslie's here. I was wondering if Leslie was gonna make it, because I saw that you emailed me and I didn't get to read the email yet. So we got a lot of people in the chat tonight, so that's good. Good. So if you are new to my channel, hello, hi, and welcome. My name is Tanya, like I said, or TitaniumBuilt, whichever you want to call me. I don't prefer one over the other, so it's whatever you guys prefer. I do have it on subscriber only in the chat. That's only to combat with bots and things as I go back and forth through the pages. And lastly, if you could just like the video as you're coming in. If you prefer the content and you like it and you appreciate it, hopefully you'll consider subscribing to the channel. Our next giveaway is at 10,000 Titans. We hit 6,000 last night and I could not believe it. Thank you guys so much to all the new subscribers, to all the old subscribers, new Titans, old Titans, everybody in between. I really couldn't have this channel if it wasn't for all of you guys. So I really, truly appreciate that so much. You guys don't even know. So let me get my notes ready here. So has everybody had a good week so far? Weekend, I guess we're on now. We're on to the weekend, which is fabulous. Is everybody having a pretty good day today? Hopefully. I think I've got everything up and ready to go for once. Huh, how about that? We'll see, won't we? I am going to share something with you as I'm just talking to you guys. And let me see. It was this first. View in StreamYard. Okay. Alrighty. So if you didn't join us last night, or you haven't heard all of the latest in the Idaho Four Murders, then this is the perfect live for you to catch up. If you hear me say, instead of like killing or murder, if you hear me saying unaliving a lot, it's because of YouTube, and I really just got to be on my P's and Q's, you know, with YouTube. So even though I don't like using that word, YouTube, they do like it when you use the word unaliving instead of, the other words. So if you find me saying that, it's nothing to the victims. It's absolutely everything to YouTube. So we are going to go back over last night's News Nation with Ashley Banfield, just one of the videos. Bryan Kohberger's love interest has actually come out again. She's come forward again. So we'll hear from her. Also, some University of Idaho students have come forward to say that Bryan was known to be on campus and was known to be creepy towards them. So I figured that's a good way to start the live. Also, I found a few more things out that we'll we'll dig and sleuth and look at. But yeah, it's going to be a good live. So the first thing I want to actually show you is this video here. It's what I just kind of said about Bryan Kohberger frequenting the Idaho Student Union building before murders and had a staring problem. And I don't, sometimes I think that she talks about it up here. So I'll actually play this. Yeah, she actually does. And then I'll read the article from People. I was trying to see where the volume was. There it is. I don't want it to blast your ears, so.
Tonight about what police uncovered in a search of Bryan Kohberger's apartment and what contact the Idaho murder suspect may have had with one of his victims before November 13th. Here's the senior correspondent, Laura Engel.
Newly unsealed search warrants in the Idaho college student murders, revealing details that had been kept under wraps for weeks. A list of items investigators seized in the search of suspect Bryan Kohberger's Washington state apartment include 8 possible hair strands, one of which was identified as possibly an animal hair, a single black glove, fabric with dark red stains, and a computer tower. The search warrant made public Wednesday shows police took possession of at least 15 items of interest in the homicides of 4 University of Idaho students that could prove critical in the case against him. And for the first time since Bryan Kohberger's arrest in Pennsylvania, December 30th, investigators also described previously undisclosed evidence they were looking for, including blood, DNA, dark clothing, and any data compilations either digital or on paper, which show the victims and the home in Moscow, Idaho, where the 4 were found murdered the morning of November 13th. The warrants allege Kohberger pre-planned the ambush rather than a crime that happened in a moment of conflict and had studied other murders and how to avoid detection as part of his preparations. As the investigation moves forward, there is also a new report that Kohberger repeatedly sent direct messages or DMs to one of the female victims through Instagram 2 weeks before the murders that appeared not to have been opened, according to People magazine. With the ongoing gag order in the case, investigators have not responded for comment. Kohberger has not yet entered a plea and will be back in court June 26th.
I can tell you actually when it was from. If I go, well, it won't let me go back, but I can tell you what it's from. Hold on one second. Let me actually just go to the People magazine because I'm going to read you guys this article anyway. February the 2nd. So that's when this article and this like story came about. So, which is funny because I have something, not funny, but I have something to tell you guys after this. So make sure, I think I got that up big enough for you guys to see it okay. Let me see. I think I actually have it like a little bit. That's fine. Okay. So it just says, students say that Bryan Kohberger, who attended another university as a grad student, was occasionally seen during the fall 2022 semester. And this was published on February the 2nd. Obviously, that is an old picture of Bryan Kohberger, though. That's when he was first put into the, Monroe County Jail. It says, as police have investigated the November stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students, they have attempted to recreate the daily whereabouts of the man suspected of killing them. In December, authorities arrested Bryan Kohberger and charged him with the 4 counts of murder. But Kohberger didn't attend the University of Idaho. He was a graduate student at Washington State University, approximately 8 miles away across the state line. 3 different students tell People, and that's People magazine, that they believe they saw Kohberger at the Student Union building on the Idaho campus in the weeks before the murders, and that they later recognized him after he was arrested for the murders. It says it was really early in the semester, recalls Chelsea, a sophomore at the University of Idaho. He was at the food court of the student union drinking water. He sat by himself. He was the type to stare, she continues. He wouldn't look away if you caught him staring, like he wanted you to notice that he was looking at you. He didn't smile, didn't nod, didn't say anything, just stared. I told my friend to not be suspicious, but to look at him because the eye contact was making me uncomfortable, she continues. It was so weird that we ended up leaving and eating outside because we wanted to get away from him. Wow. And then it says, another student tells People that she saw Kohberger frequently enough around campus that she assumed he was a student at the University of Idaho. It's not a huge school. It's like a small town, she says. So you start seeing the same faces again and again. They become familiar, like you know that you've seen them in class or around campus. I definitely saw him more than once. He was just really quiet and really intense, staring. He made me uncomfortable. And I think down here just tells you, yeah, and that just goes over, what happened the evening of the 13th of November. So, yeah, what do you guys think about that? That he could have been sitting at those student centers Here, let me scroll it down so at least it's on the picture of them. But yeah, what do you guys think that he could have been sitting at the student centers? Waiting, just watching, observing. I don't know. Oh my gosh, Amber Smith. She's over here cluelessing out on us. She's referencing the Clueless. Did you hear? And you just got me on you got me on something else now. Alicia Silverstone from Clueless. Okay, I know this has nothing to do with the Idaho Four, but if I don't tell you now, I'll forget. She's going to be doing a Super Bowl commercial as the teacher. She's going to come back and in her pleated, iconic yellow plaid outfit. So she will be doing a Super Bowl commercial. I saw that. So, thank you, Summer. Yeah, everyone remember, please to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. And if you'd like to, join the team, join the green team over here, be a member, I'll paste that in the comments below on how you could become one. You get really cool emojis and you get some cool badges and stuff as well. So, I wanted to tell you guys though, I found sorry, my eye was watering a little bit. I found a photo. It was about a week or so ago from the beginning of the case. And I swear to you guys, it was Kohberger. And it appears okay. And in the picture, he's sitting at a round table in what appears to be a student center with two other students. And it was a side profile picture. And it looked like him. I was oh my gosh, that looks just like him. But it was University of Idaho. Well, I can't find that news article to save my soul. I've been looking for a week, probably nonstop. It seems like. So it was one of the first news articles that ever came out about the case. And I thought I bookmarked it, but I didn't, because I was just going to kind of laugh about it, because I asked, okay, so what I did was I thought it was Bryan Kohberger. And then I was no, it wasn't. That's not him. I was you're losing it, Tanya, because, everyone thought he was at the candlelight vigil. Then they thought I saw him here, there, and everywhere. And so I thought I was just having a moment where I thought I saw him, because, from the side looking down, he could look just like anybody. Well, this looked like him though. This really did. So I asked Vincent for his opinion, because he's the one with double vision. And he said that it didn't really look like him. He's I don't think so. So then I was going to bring it up as kind of a joke in a way, almost I thought I almost lost my mind, guys. But now thinking back on it with this new article that just came out saying that he was at the student center on the University of Idaho campus, maybe that was him in that picture that I saw. I don't know now, but I just don't know. Already was found in the room entrance. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and Xana, yeah, you're right, GP. Yeah, we went over it last night, and we're going to go back over it a little bit tonight too. Because I was sleepy last night. I don't know if you guys can tell in the live. I was so sleepy. I didn't even, and where is Isabel in here? Where's she at? I had something to tell her. She was poor Isabel was trying to tell give you guys the correct email address from me last night. And I kept saying TitaniumBuilt, and it's TitaniumBuiltBoo@gmail.com. And she tried to correct me. There she is. Okay. I was supposed to say, I knew you were here. So I didn't even know until I walked out of here last night, Isabel, that you were just trying to, you were helping me. You were saying what the correct email was. Vincent was no, Tanya, you were given the wrong email. And I'm what are you talking about? And I was it must have been because I did 2 lives yesterday, and I was just a little out of it. So back on the case. So I am going to show you. So it gets better. The next thing I want to show you is Bryan's love interest. Remember we talked about her. It was it's probably been maybe a week ago or so. I had her name highlighted because I looked her up on Facebook. So Bryan's love interest, Brittany, it's Hislop is her last name. She's back. I looked her up on Facebook, and let me tell you, she doesn't stop posting about him. She's like a lovesick puppy. I don't even know. I'm I'm without words really for this one. I know that and I guess that this isn't the first time that she's done this with with somebody that's in prison. So that's her MO, I guess. She likes guys that are in prison. She has one Facebook friend. I thought her account was almost fake until I looked at her pictures, and then I started realizing she's got like a ton of pictures, and they're all back from like years and years ago. Like they were posted. Because at first when I saw the one friend, I thought it was like one mutual friend, and I was like, oh my gosh, but it was like just one friend. So I'll have to show it to you guys. Yeah, this girl's messed up, real messed up. You're right. Catherine said she's messed up. Like, why would you want a guy that you can't even like? I was gonna say that too. Oh, I know that's even worse. But why would you want a guy that you can't even go and hang out with when you want? Like, you have to make a visitation for that. You have to go and like conjugal visits aren't a thing. You're right, Teresa. You are right about that too. And it's all probably going to come out unless he decides to either do something stupid while he's in jail somehow, or he just pleads guilty before it gets to trial because, he don't want to have to hear his crimes. I don't know. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think he's going to go ahead and probably just, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So, accused quadruple murderer Bryan Kohberger is driving one woman crazy in love. Well, I guess it is February. I didn't think about that. Brittany Hislop insists he's the perfect man for her. My love interest is named Bryan and is accused of murder, and I just wish to connect with him above anyone else. The 35-year-old Kentucky single mom of a 16-year-old son. Yeah, you read that right. You heard it right. You heard that. She's from Kentucky. She's single mom. She's 16 of a 16-year-old son. I can only imagine her kid. Oh my Lord. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This kid's probably getting made fun of in school, probably bullied now, probably, I don't even want to know. I mean, he probably already was before if his mom was like this, but this is a whole new level. Like, and the word, word travels. Everyone knows her name now. So they're going to know who her son is. Oh, that's so sad. It says she gushed in one of her many Facebook posts about Kohberger. And when they say many, I'm talking a lot. More than I could go through. We would be here for days going through them. She said in one of her many posts, Facebook posts about Kohberger, whom she's never met or communicated with. One way to describe my feelings for him over the last week or so is kind of like being lovesick. Lovesick. I think she's sick. Hey, Ray, I love your hair. That's so pretty. I wish I could do my hair like that. I could not braid my hair for nothing. Nothing. She just, man. She's lovesick. Hislop began posting publicly about her infatuation on January 4th, just 5 days after Kohberger was arrested in the fatal November 13th stabbings of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. Hislop, who repeatedly points to her and Kohberger's astrological signs, they are both Scorpios, and birth charts as explaining why he could be her divine masculine counterpart. Where's the masculine part? Isn't it just drawn to the former criminology PhD student for his smarts and quiet courtroom demeanor? She thinks that he's masculine. Wow. When it shows the love-making scene between the man and woman that are two different characters in the movie, although it's not very explicit, I want to be with my love interest, Bryan, in those ways, she wrote, bizarrely referring to a scene in a 1987 vampire film, The Lost Boys, played between actors Jason Patrick and Jamie Gertz. And I don't know that movie, The Lost Boys. I've heard of that movie, though, I think. Have you guys ever heard of the movie The Lost Boys? That sounds familiar. Kohberger isn't the first jailbird Hislop has pursued, having previously pined for local convicted killer Cody Hall, 33, who fatally shot a 50-year-old man in Pulaski County, Kentucky in 2017 before attacking his sister and another woman with a machete. She knows how to pick them. She likes a guy with a knife. Apparently. She's a smart girl. I visited him, oh my Lord, I didn't read this part. So, this is just, wow. We're going to have to just turn the camera on for this because this is just bad. I visited him, put money in his commissary account, wrote him letters, and I wanted to be in a loyal, committed relationship with him. She reminisced in 2018 about Hall, who wound up blocking her from visiting him in jail. The money, the commissary wasn't worth it. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot for someone to give up that's in prison. It's like commissary and free money. And he blocked her. When I say I was in love with him, I mean I was completely and truly in love with him. Oh, she must have made this for him. Oh, out of his mugshot. Oh, okay. So she made one for Kohberger too. So this is the one that she made for this guy. Hey, Sleuthy Goosey. Hey, Skittles. Oh, New Zealand. Oh, wow. What time is it in New Zealand? I bet it's beautiful over there. Oh, I guess she has some more. Hislop has a history of pursuing men behind bars, including, that's the local convicted killer, Cody Hall there. And then, well, she didn't get him because he got snagged up by another guy or another girl. Remember, Charlie Manson married some girl in prison right before, like a few years before he died or something. Maybe it was her. In addition to her daily diaristic postings, Hislop claims to have sent letters to Kohberger in Latah County Jail about her amorous intentions, along with pictures of herself dolled up. Ooh, okay. With me being deprived of a love and a sex life for so long and only wanting one with someone I truly want wholeheartedly, with my feelings for Bryan, I've had to be true to myself in reaching out to him, Hislop wrote in a cringing post last month. Captain Shane Anderson of Latah County Sheriff's Office declined to confirm whether Kohberger has received any mail from his not-so-secret admirer. Man, I wish we would know that. You know she's sent letters, but are they allowing him to have letters, I wonder? I mean, they can't say no, can they? Never heard of anybody not being able to receive mail. I mean, unless they were like, maybe put on punishment, but like, I know you can get punished and like punishment is like no visitors, but like, so yeah, this is her. And I mean, she must be nutso. I don't know, but she's out there for everyone to see now. Kohberger is currently facing 4 counts of first-degree murder for allegedly killing Kaylee Gonzalez, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Zana Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20. He has yet to enter a plea deal, but one of his lawyers previously said that Kohberger is eager to be exonerated. He is due back in court on June 26th. Hislop did not respond to multiple requests for comment. Family members could not be reached for comment. Oh yeah, I'm sure that they could not be reached for comment. I would not want... I feel bad for her kid. I really do, you know? Oh, is he still... I thought Charles Manson died. No, he died. He died. Yeah, no, he died. Yeah, he died last year, yeah. Yeah, he finally. I mean, you know, how long's he been on death row? Or in prison? Like, forever. But I did pull up her Facebook page. Yeah, well, Judy, and he's known for carrying knives, and she's known for liking guys with knives. So apparently they would probably be okay together. I don't know. I doubt it, but yeah, he did. He died. But he did get married to someone. I want to say her name was like Star or something like that. Like it was something different. Like her name was like something. It was like Star or I don't know. Let me go ahead and grab my other notes really quick. Okay, so I wanted to go back over the News Nation clip. I don't know if I think we have different people into the chat tonight, so that will be okay. Yeah, Chris Watts gets a lot of love letters. Yep. He has a little girlfriend in prison, I'm sure. They would be quite the pair. Could you imagine, like, all this time he could have, like, just had that crazy girl. He could have just been with crazy if he wouldn't have, if he would have just waited a little bit. He was coming this way, to go home for the holidays. Maybe he would have ran into her, and on the Kentucky border. Like to know where she's from in Kentucky. So new details from sources close to News Nation, if you guys haven't watched the News Nation, have shed light on how the Idaho college killings have unfolded. So on the News Nation, this is what you're going to hear and what they're going to say that the witnesses said. So Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan were killed first, and the sources confirmed that Ethan Chapin and Zana Kernodle were killed on the second floor afterward, according to sources. They also said that Chapin was killed in the doorway of Kernodle's room, and Kernodle apparently fought back. She repeatedly grabbed the knife from suspect Bryan Kohberger, and she suffered deep cuts to her fingers from that. Chapin apparently suffered a slash to the neck, according to the sources. So I'll share that with you. And actually, let me, I wanted to share this Facebook page with you first. Sorry. Let me share this with you for a minute. This girl's nutso. Okay, I'm going to actually, this is going to be for the membership. And then I'm going to drop the link if anyone wants to come up on panel and share your thoughts or anything. Because I always forget to drop the link. And then I always get off of here. And I feel so bad because then I always get like halfway through the live or I'll get like all the way through it. And I'm like, whoa, I forgot to even ask anybody if they wanted to come up. And that's not nice. So if you guys want to, you can. I don't mind at all. And then just let me know and I'll let you guys in the back way there. So there is a gag order in place, but they're trying to fight the gag order right now. Like the Gonzalez family and their attorney. So we read over some documents last night. You can get them on the state of Idaho judicial branch. They have like a whole, every single piece of information you would ever wanted to know on Bryan Kohberger. All the documents are all there. So, oh, thank you, Kelly D. Oh, I actually had and I'll show it off the News Nation. I did like not a timeline, but I did another little thing for you guys. So. Oh, Kylie Rodney case was very crazy. It's still crazy. How does my cat do that? He's back in here again. Let me let him out really quick. Hold on, guys. Sorry. He's like so sneaky. I had no clue he was like even in there. I had no clue that he was even in here. Okay, so yeah, if you guys are just now joining us, if you could, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content. We'd love to have you. We are talking about the Idaho Four case. Right now, we're going over Bryan's love interest, Brittany Hislop. She's back, and I looked her up on Facebook, and I'm just going to show you a little bit here. She's nuts because if we looked at all this, we'd be here for years. I don't even think I can make this. I can make it bigger. Okay, there we go. I can make it bigger. And then we'll watch the News Nation clip. So I'm going to read like this one because it's not that long, but some of these are like, girl. Oh, here, that one's not too long. Okay, yeah, let's just go down to the bottom a little bit. Let's see. I don't know. They said she started posting on when was that? January the 4th. Oh, wait, yeah, posting publicly about her infatuation on January the 4th, 5 days after he was arrested. So we're just 6 days ago. These are all about him. So, let's go right here. January 26th. Okay, that's too long, y'all. Okay. Oh my Lord. Oh my God. Okay. Woo. That's just too much. I can't take that much crazy. I can do this much crazy. Wow. Did you see those though? Who has time? Who has time to post like that? Like, I mean, I should be posting like that because like I have like I'm a content creator and I would never bore y'all with that much. Like I can't even do that. So we'll do this one. Okay. I'm not sure if this post will show up, but I thought I'd come on here and say that anytime there are those that work against me in ways that aren't right and are unfair, there's a chance that they'll face their karma. Okay, this might not be about Bryan. This might be just about like, oh no, it's about Bryan. Okay, their karma, which will be payback for them. So with that in mind, I need not worry about those who ever wrong me. Although when people do certain things towards me, it can trigger emotions in me that will be unpleasant, but that I'll have to get through and cope with. Okay, she needs to help. I wouldn't like it if my last post from several hours ago would make me appear as someone unideal to my crush and love interest named Bryan. But I also have to keep in mind that I have to be my authentic self no matter what, even though at times showing self-control would be in my best interest, as well as me wanting to be loyal to someone that's significant to me versus sharing things with people that just are out to work against me. This is like the run-on sentence going. She did put a period there. I don't know if Bryan is the type of guy to accept video visits from just any stranger or maybe only certain strangers in particular, but I know that in the video of the thumbnail photo of that woman's YouTube channel that I posted days ago, what? It mentions something about video visits regarding him and others. She's talking about plunder. Gotta turn on my camera. I thought, I didn't know my camera was off. I'm like, I didn't know my camera was off, but yeah, no, that's who she's talking about. Because plunder remember, because I was going to set up a video visit and we were talking about that. So I think that's who she's talking about when she's talking about that content creator. So that's who she got it from. Yeah. It mentioned something about video visits regarding him and others, with me mentioning, or maybe it was me. We'll have to go back a couple of days. I don't know. I have to think that if anyone that's a true ally of his reads my post, if they communicate with him, they could inform him of that, and then he would know if he received all of them or if someone has in fact interfered. It's ideal to me to be my authentic self towards Bryan, even though I wish that I could send him photos of me where I've made my makeup and hair and overall self look the best that I can versus me sending photos that I'm not looking my best. Okay. What was the Facebook page of she? She said it was a few days before. So that was on the one we read was on the 27th. I don't see anything. Oh, I was like, what? I just see the TA. I was like, what? Oh yeah, and then this is her pictures. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Sorry, I'm just trying to read this so like. I guess she's saying that someone took her phone, like her photo. but I don't know. And it was Plunder right there. Yeah. Because she did this photo. Plunder didn't do this photo with the kissy and the hearts and the stuff like that. Plunder didn't do that. That girl did that. And then Plunder just took it and made a video. Maybe there'll be a new like reality TV show here soon about it. But I figured it was probably Plunder because she was the only other creator that I knew that talked about that other than me. Because I forgot she talked about it when I started talking about it. And I was like, wait a minute. Plunder did this. I know, Summer. Can you believe that? Thank you guys again so much for the subscribers and the likes and all of that. I really, really appreciate it, guys. You guys really make me feel so special. I couldn't believe it. That was my goal for this weekend was to hit 6,000. And we hit that last night. And I'm like, that's even better. So my next goal is 10,000. That's when I get my Nancy cardboard cutout. So I don't have a particular time that I need that, but the more the merrier. Yeah, and it is the drama that's not fair to the victims. And this girl just needs to be like, I don't know if Facebook can shut her page down or can someone like do something about her? Like, that's just crazy to me. But yeah, so this is her page. If y'all want to read it, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. This would have to be a whole week of lives, I think. This because we're just at the 19th. Maybe I can send this over to Zav Girl. She does reading over there. She likes to read. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what her pictures look like. Let's see all photos. Let's see what she's got. She's got a lot of the same photo. Why does she take pictures of her feet? Oh, maybe her shoes. I don't know. It just looks like weird pictures to me. Well, she'll always be taking pictures by herself if she's with Bryan. At least she's used to that. Where's her kid? I mean, I don't want to see him, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? She's supposed to be a single mom. That's kind of strange. I'm going to go ahead and put the, I'm going to put the invite code, like I'm going to put the StreamYard link in the chat if anyone wants to come up and chat and tell their thoughts about this case or anything. I'm trying not to make sure I don't see her son because I don't want to put her son out there, but I'm just wondering what mom doesn't have her kid like all over her Facebook. That to me is just, that's a little weird to me. Casey Anthony got fan mail also. Oh, I bet you she did. Oh. What's her name? Her name is Brittany Hish. Let me say this right. Let me go back up here. Brittany Hislop. And you can see it like right at the top of the tab on the upper left. I don't think he has internet access. I would think that he would only have he might get mail. I'm sure he can get mail. Phone calls, but I mean, she'd have to get her name in there. But just think of this. Okay, we got to go back. We got to go back to this really quick because this is just really funny to me. Okay, because this guy right here, she did the same thing with this guy as she did with Bryan Kohberger. This convicted murderer, his name is Cody Hall. And this dude, she visited him. She put money on his commissary account, wrote him letters. She wanted to be in a loyal, committed relationship with him, she said. He blocked her from visiting him in jail. So when I say that's some funny stuff, that's like unheard of, that's unheard of. Because there are men that would love to string a woman along for any amount of time in prison to get some commissary money or something. He didn't even want to talk to her on the phone for the little bit that he'd have to. Or maybe see her in a visit. He couldn't even stand to be sitting at the same table as this girl. And then there she is. Yeah, I'll just go back up to the top so you can see her name and stuff. And if you ask yourself, why does she only have one friend? Well, you should not have to ask yourself that. But she does have plenty of pictures, and all of her pictures go back like years. So like these ones, like I clicked on some of these and they were like super old. How do I go down? Okay, I don't want to see her boobs. Maybe I have to like, I don't know. You guys are probably better at Facebook than I am. But it's probably because I have it blown up. No, that's blown up. I don't know. But I was looking at the pictures and they were like 2022, 2021, like stuff like that. Oh, I'm glad my mom didn't have the internet either. Oh, my Lord. Margot said, I don't put my child up on Facebook. We made a deal that he can choose if I put a pic of him on Facebook. Oh, I'm so glad my mom didn't have internet. That's nice of you to ask him. Like, be like, is it cool if I, like, because, I mean, no offense to the parents that don't ask their kids, but thank God my parents didn't have the internet. Thank God. I mean, we did have the internet, but we were older. And my dad didn't know anything. He didn't know anything about the internet yet. Because if he would have had access to a Facebook account, my gosh, my whole life would have been, I would have been over with. He would have been teasing me so much. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate that. I was like, why does everyone have green hearts? That's so sweet. I can't believe we did it that fast. I was like, oh my gosh, guys. But this is a good channel. It's the chat, really. I mean, the creator's all right too, but it's the chat. We have a really, really good chat. Yeah, Harley Ryder, wait, what? When an inmate blocks you, you got some serious issues. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like you have, I mean, men and women alike. Women will pretend like they like other women just to string them along to get some commissary money is what I'm like. I can't even tell you what people would do to get some money in prison. You know, like who wants to eat the prison food there? Nobody. Maybe she can help him with the vegan diet while he's in there. Because they're not going to help him. So who is she? Also, her name is, let me go back. Brittany, I always forget her name. Brittany Hislop. And I'll share it real quick. She's right up here. It's like right up in the top left corner there. Or maybe top right for you guys. I don't know if you guys are. No, you're going the same way I am. Top left. And I was like, that was kind of a little of a dumb moment. So new details have emerged from News Nation. We went over this last night, but I want to go over just this video again tonight and then a couple more videos. But Kaylee, this is about the injuries that they suffered and where they were placed and stuff. So trigger warning, it does say in the video, Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan were killed first. And the sources confirmed that Ethan Chapin and Zana Kernodle were killed on the second floor afterward, according to the sources. They also said that Chapin was killed in the doorway of Kernodle's room, and Kernodle apparently fought back. She repeatedly grabbed at the knife. She grabbed it from the suspect Bryan Kohberger's hands, and she suffered deep cuts to her fingers as a result. And Ethan apparently suffered a slash to his neck, according to these new witnesses that have come forward. So we're going to watch this, and we will talk about this, because this is a lot of information. We did a live last night, and it was like so much information I felt like was flying out that it was hard to kind of keep up with some of it. Oh, let me play this for you guys.
welcome to this Thursday edition of Banfield. I want to begin with some breaking news on the Idaho murder case. A couple of sources with knowledge of the investigation have told News Nation some details that up until now we did not know. Let me lay a few of these details out, but I do want to warn you that this is graphic information and it is uncomfortable to hear this because we're talking about innocent kids who were killed in that home back in October. And not only that, this is evidence that likely will come out in court at some point. Whether it will be germane to who the killer is or not, that remains to be seen. But it could be evidence nonetheless. With that in mind, let me let you know what these sources have told News Nation. Number one, they told us that the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan, were killed first, and they confirmed that Ethan Chapin and Zana Kernodle were killed on the second floor afterwards. And these are some of the other details that they have released. They said that Ethan Chapin was killed in the doorway of Zana Kernodle's room before the killer set upon Zana. The sources say that it appeared Ethan had stepped partly into the hallway where the attack may have begun. These sources also say that Ethan Chapin suffered a slash to the neck. But I have to say that both of these details are in direct conflict with what the coroner had originally told us right here on this program exclusively. And also, they conflict directly with what police have said as well. And those two facts that are in conflict are that all of the victims were in their beds, according to police and the coroner. And according to the coroner, all of the injuries were stab wounds and not slash wounds. So I just want to play for you exactly what it was the coroner said in her words. Were any of them slashed? Were any of their necks cut? Or were these all puncture wounds?
Well, it was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And they were definitely stabbings.
Can you tell me, when you say that they might have been sleeping, were they found in beds?
Yes.
So those were the facts that the coroner told us. And like I said, it is in direct conflict with what these two sources familiar with the investigation are now telling us as well. That obviously needs to be sorted out and likely best in a court of law as well. Also want to tell you these other details that we have learned from these two sources, that Zana Kernodle put up a fierce fight when the attacker set upon her, repeatedly grabbing the attacker's knife, so much so that she sustained deep cuts to her fingers and that her fingers were nearly severed. Now, that does actually work in comport with what Xana's father had reported to an Arizona news outlet about what he knew.
And we heard that actually last night. We played her dad's interview. I don't know if we got, oh, I don't want this to blast you guys in there. Oh, sorry. But yeah, we actually went over that yesterday. Let me get the next thing up that I wanted to show you. And then I have some notes that I wanted to go over because I have a lot of questions too. And I'm like, maybe if I ask you guys, that'll help me think more clearly. So that's what I was going to ask you guys. So I don't know who these sources are that News Nation apparently has. And I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm just going to maybe suggest from the court documents that we read last night. Do you think that this could be somebody like the Gonzalez family lawyer? Could he be their source? Because he's the one filing all this paperwork, that he doesn't want to be quiet. He doesn't want to have to keep quiet. He doesn't want to have to be, he doesn't think the gag order should be issued to him because he's not in direct connection with that case, he says. He also says that the Gonzalez family isn't in direct connection into that case. So they should be excluded from the gag order as well. Oh, Catherine, that could be. Probably Xana's mom. Could be. Could be, yeah. Well, and because she's been saying since day one that the police haven't given her any information. Well, we all know why. She's been running from them. And I'm going to show you guys actually that interview next. I found it. I was wanting to show you guys this. I compiled the other day, I believe it was maybe on Wednesday or Thursday's live. We did a video over the Idaho case, and we went over Maddie Mogan's father's interviews, and we went over Ethan Chapin's parents, all the interviews that they did. So if you guys want to check out that live just to see collectively all of the interviews together, looking back on them, now with knowing what we know now, just seeing if maybe they gave us any subtle hints, and they did in some of their interviews. They definitely did. So the next two that I have to do are Xana and Kaylee. And I was going to do that tonight, but Kaylee's interviews are pretty long, so I'm just going to do those on a whole new live. But I do have a couple videos that I do want to show you guys. I want to show you the one from, Xana's mom, her first interview that she did. Because when I heard it again, I was like, And then the pastor that read the letters for Dylan and Bethany. And then I want to go over one more thing. A couple of the students that knew them came forward and was talking about the house and the way that it locked and things like that. Okay, I couldn't find this to save me for a minute, so there we go. So this is going to be from Kara Kernodle, Kara Northington, the mother of Zana Kernodle. This is going to be her first interview that she ever did on the case, on this, with Ashley Banfield about this, so. Oh, let me rewind it. Well, maybe.
It's my family.
It's me now. Kara, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Can I just ask you off the bat how you are getting by in this terribly sorrowful time?
Not very easily, not good. I mean, I don't.
And I just want to tell you also, before we get started, just in case you miss it. So her mom pretty much comes forward with an interview with Ashley Banfield here. And she talks about how Xana's door had what she thought had a new lock on it. So I just want to go back over that interview. And I also want to go over the interview with the roommates' friends, Madison and Taylor. And then like last night, like I said, we did Xana's father's interview. And then I want to see... there's one more interview that I wanted to show you guys, the pastor one. So if you are just now joining us, that's what we are doing. If you haven't joined this channel before, hello, hi, welcome. Welcome on in. We'd love to have you in the chat. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this case. Even if they're different than ours, we still want to hear from you. Also, if you don't mind liking the video when you guys come in, it does push it into the algorithm. That way more people can enjoy it. More people will come in, things like that. And last but not least, if you could subscribe to the channel, and if I could just have you guys make sure that you have your bell icon on and it's alerted to all notifications. That way you get alerted to all new content that comes out. Because sometimes I post more than once a day and you'll only be alerted once for each video. So, and I'm going to get to playing her. Okay.
I don't know what to say to that.
I can't even imagine the pain that you and your family are going through. Have the police been helpful to you, Kara, to understand some of the things they can and can't say?
Honestly, no.
I don't know if anyone knows off the top of their head, and I can look it up if not. When was she arrested, or when was she wanted by the police? Because if she was wanted by the police right now, at this point right now, when she's doing this interview, of course she's going to say that they're not talking to her, because she's not going to be talking to the police. It's not going to be the police that don't want to talk to her. It's going to be she's trying to run from the cops right now because, she had that warrant.
Honestly, no. They haven't said anything. I learn more on the news and on TV than they have said to me.
Have you had a chance to talk with some of the other parents of the other 3 kids who were there that night and share information amongst yourselves?
Not really, honestly. I've just been dealing with my family, and we've just been absorbing this shock.
Can you tell me, Kara, what you do know about this terrible night?
Well, what I do know is not nearly enough. We need more answers. There is so much more that can be done that has not been done. And I just know that there's GPS, NASA, to find out who went into that home that night. I know that. Why hasn't that been looked into? Why hasn't that been accessed?
Kara, can I ask you there is a mysterious sort of 4-hour and 45-minute block of time that's unaccounted for by the police timeline. The police say that your daughter Xana and her boyfriend Ethan were at the Sigma Chi house from 8 until 9 p.m., but then they don't have any information on where they were from 9 p.m. till 1:45 a.m. Do you know anything about that from either your information from the police or Ethan's family or anybody?
I may be candid in saying this, but I think that they were at a bar.
And where do you get that information from? Did someone tell you that they'd gone from the Sigma Chi house to a bar before they ended up home?
That's what their father conveyed to me, that he thought that they were at the bar at that night. So, yeah, I mean, that's what college kids do on the weekends. So.
But you don't know for sure that they left the Sigma Chi house, went to a bar? Okay.
I don't know for sure, absolutely not.
And have the police asked you any questions about where Xana might have been, or if she texted you, or if she had, if she'd communicated with any family members in that period of time?
No, no answers whatsoever. Really. I asked the investigators when they come and spoke to me. They were not able to offer me any answers.
I don't think the cops came and spoke to her. I think the cops came and arrested her, right? And then she got out of jail, and then she was on the run. Because I feel like that's what it was. There's so many cases going on right now. It's hard to, just track down Xana's mom's crimes too. Yeah, Kelly D, I want to go over that too. I have some notes on that. Oh, and actually after this, I'll show you the other notes that I took, or the spreadsheet thing I did.
None.
Can I ask you, Xana's sister Jasmine has put such a beautiful tribute to Xana on her Instagram. And I wonder if she has any additional information, just perhaps from being able to access her sister's social media or her phone. Has Jasmine been able to ascertain any other details of what happened that night, or where Xana and Ethan were that night?
No, I'm not going to speak for Jasmine. You would have to ask her that yourself, and she's going.
That's her way of saying that she doesn't talk to her kid. I'm sorry. That's her way of saying she hasn't talked to Jasmine.
Through it right now without her sister, and I'm sure if she had any answers or any information, she's already conveyed that to the investigators.
May I ask you if you can confirm that Xana's room was on the second floor of the house?
Yes, I can confirm that. And
and was it on? Sorry?
I just had a question about the other two roommates who were there on the first floor, and I just wonder, wasn't something heard, or the surviving roommates that were there, they had to have heard something, they had to have, the dog, something.
I can help you with that somewhat. There is information from a prior tenant who lived on the first floor, who said when he lived there in 2019, he moved out. He said he could never hear anything on the second or third floor. If the television was playing very loudly on the second floor, he might hear it from the first floor. And I don't know if that helps you to understand.
The dog heard it, and the dog had to have been barking. You know,
I have information there as well. I've got information there as well. Our Bryan Enton spoke with the parents of Kaylee Gonzalez, and they have actually referred to that. And Brian's going to play that interview in a moment. But Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen on that first floor may not have been able to hear anything, according to the prior tenant, who said it was extremely difficult to hear because of the construction of that house. But I do want to ask you, if I can, Kara, was your daughter Xana's room on the right side of the house if you're looking from the parking lot, or on the left side across from the kitchen?
I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
But you do know she was on the...
I never went there yet, so I don't know.
But you know she was on the second floor. Do you know if she looked out the front of the house or the back of the house?
I believe in the front, but I can't confirm. Like I said, I haven't been down to visit it yet. So I tried to go last month, but she was in class while I was down there, so.
Okay, our viewers are looking at the front of the house right now, and the window that I'm referring to is on the second story in the front of the house. And that's where we are, you know, triangulating that perhaps that's where Xana and Ethan were that night. I do want to ask you if you know whether or not Xana had a lock on her bedroom door.
I believe she did, yes.
Do you know if it was a lock that was a code that you would punch in on the bedroom door? The prior tenant who used to live there said that every one of the doors in that home, all 6 bedrooms, were rented separately like apartments, and they all had coded locks. But lots of social media pictures have shown at least one of the locks on the door across from the kitchen on the second floor. It didn't appear to have a coded lock. But do you think that Xana's room had a coded lock?
I believe it did. Her father mentioned to me that he had just went and replaced the lock the weekend before.
You said her father mentioned to you that they had replaced the lock?
Yes, that he had, or he had fixed it or something. But yeah, he said that he had fixed it the week before.
I wonder, thank you, Margot, so much for that $10. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I wonder, like, what lock the father really ended up fixing. If it was her bedroom lock, if it was the front door lock, if it was the back door lock. Because you see in a lot of the pictures with the officers, they have those chairs like in the door of the sliding back door. Like maybe it would slide open if you didn't have something like in there to keep it closed. Because normally they just put some crime scene tape up on a door. They don't normally reinforce it like that. But then so just remember that, because I have another interview we're going to go over next where 2 students come forward and they say that everybody knew the PIN number to the front door and that it was always unlocked. So I don't know if that door was always unlocked because it was broken, or if it was just always unlocked because a lot of people just came in and out of there. So, what have you guys been saying? I was trying to read, but you guys have been going fast. I feel bad for her mother. I wish that her mom could go to a rehab and get some help, but unfortunately, they're probably going to take her to jail if she went to a rehab center, because then they would know where she was at. I mean, unless maybe, you know. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm the same way. Whenever you know you got it, you got it. That's so nice. I appreciate it. Yes. Yep. Ina, you're right. And Teresa, you're right. We need to be patient. Sometimes I'm not patient though. I remember I told you guys that was my word. That's my one bad thing. I'm not patient. I said that was my fault. That was my one fault. I'm just like, I can be patient, but I just rather have the answers. But I'm also the person that with my own injuries, I've asked weird questions. Like I'm a question person. I like to know if I have a question, I need the answer immediately for it. So I'll have to tell you about that. I'll have to write that down so I can tell you my story here later on. I'll go ahead and play this back.
Just to make sure
The week before.
Yeah.
So that's the lock on her own bedroom door.
And that was another thing I was going to say. If it was okay, so if the front door lock was broken or the back door lock was broken, and her father knew that, I'm pretty sure those would have been the locks that he would have been there to fix. He wouldn't have fixed her bedroom door lock. He would have been like, Xana, who cares if someone can get in your bedroom door? Like we want to make sure the house is reinforced. That's what I would think. If she was so concerned about her bedroom door lock being fixed, that makes me just wonder, who was she trying to keep out of her bedroom that bad? I mean, normally, college kids, they just you can shut the door and usually people don't bother you, you would think. But then again, I don't know, I guess. I've never lived in a house full of girls. So you would think that, I don't know. You think that BK probably knocked on the door, Ethan got up and answered it? Sarah, that sounds, yeah. Or he heard something and he came out. Yeah, I have some notes written that I need to go over with you guys too, because I'm like, oh, I need to know. I have questions. Let me go ahead and play the rest of this.
Or not the lock to the outside of the house. That's her own bedroom door's lock?
In the main lock he was referring to. I'm not sure, just from him telling me that when we were speaking, so.
But you're talking about Jeff, right? Jeff Kernodle, Xana's dad?
Yeah. Absolutely, yes.
And he had been there just a couple weeks before working on a lock, but you're not sure what door.
Just the weekend before, and he went to meet Ethan's parents, and went to check on Xana, and it was Dad Week at WSU for Jasmine, so he was over there, and they're pretty close schools. Pullman and Moscow are fairly short distance away from each other.
Did Xana's car have Arizona plates?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
And she used to live in Arizona, though, right?
I believe she got the car in Arizona, so that's highly likely, yes.
Do you know what kind of car she was driving?
I don't.
And you mentioned about the roommates, the surviving roommates. Have you had any opportunity to contact them? Do you or Jeff or Xana's sister, Jasmine, do you have their contact information? Are you able to call them to talk to them?
Jasmine and Jeff are in contact with them, yes. They were all at the memorial today, and yeah.
And what did those girls, Bethany and Dylan, say to Xana's dad and her sister about that morning when they woke up and came upstairs? What did they tell Jeff and Jasmine?
I don't know. You would have to ask them that. I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I'm sorry.
Do you know, Kara, if Dylan and Bethany came upstairs and were trying to wake Xana? Because they were trying to wake one of their roommates. Do you know if it was your daughter they were trying to wake?
I don't have that answer either. I'm sorry.
It's okay. And did they say that they could not get beyond a locked door, and that's why they had no idea what was on the other side of the bedroom door and called in an unconscious person?
I believe that's right.
What do you know about that?
That they called in an unconscious person. I know that. But beyond that, I don't know.
So it's hard for you to understand as well why, if there was such a terrible crime that had been committed, the roommates might not have seen the evidence of that crime.
Absolutely, yes.
Have they told you at all, Kara, when you can retrieve your daughter's things from that house?
Not yet, no.
I want to ask you, if you can for us, Kara, about Xana. What would you like people to know about your daughter? We've seen pictures and we've seen social media, but you know her heart.
I'm trying to find where they would say anything about the doors being locked. They would have no way of knowing. The officers would have no way of knowing. And I want to say thank you, Chris 10K for the super thanks. I really appreciate that. Super chat. Appreciate that. No, so I was trying to look on there about the doors being closed, if the doors were closed, if the doors were open. But let's just say for sake, they went to sleep that night and both doors were closed. BK comes in, opens both doors, walks out and leaves them both open. There's no way for the officers to know if those doors were closed or open when they went to sleep. And I've read this PCA so many dang times. I think I could recite it now. So I'm trying to think of where it was at. So, cause I'm like, man, I need to find it. So I'll have to look through my email. But if you can remember the page number, I can go from there too for now.
Art. What would you like everyone to know about her?
Xana, if you knew Xana, you knew what a light she was to everybody she came across. She was just such a positive influence on everybody around her. I honestly, and I'm not saying this because I'm her mother and biased, it's just the truth. There's nothing negative you could say about her. She was just such a good soul. And she deeply cared about her friends and her family. And she would never hurt anybody. I don't understand who would want to do anything to any of these kids. They were all great, great kids, and they were all good, good friends, lifelong friends, even, aside from Ethan. And Ethan was such a great kid, too. No parent should ever go through this. These kids were good kids. I don't
Have you had a chance?
What to do this.
Have you had a chance to speak with Ethan's parents?
No, not yet.
Are you going to have a chance to speak with them?
I'm sure I will, yes.
I do have another question, and that is what we are all trying to figure out what the police mean when they say they believe this was a targeted attack. They've gone back and forth about whether it was the kids inside the house or the house, and now they've really rested on the statement that they believe it's a targeted attack. They don't know if it's the kids or the home itself that was targeted, but do you have any thoughts at all about why that house might be targeted or why any of the 5 roommates might be targeted?
I do not think it was the house that was targeted. I believe wholeheartedly that it was those kids who were targeted. They weren't just acquaintances. These kids were like best friends. They practically were family. These kids were tight-knit. They were good friends. They were like family. They were around each other constantly. They did everything together. How could it not be a planned thing? How could it not have been targeted? For all 4 of them.
Do you know, Kara, do you know anything about Kaylee moving out? Do you know if she had already moved out of the house when this happened, or was she in the process of moving out because she was graduating in the new year?
Again, that's not a question for me. You may ask her family that. I'm not going to speak for her. I'm sorry.
I think the reason I ask is because I'm just wondering if her room was vacant, if the furniture was gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Right. Do you also know anything about? Did Xana ever say anything about problems at the campus? Maybe talk of a stalker. There's been talk that maybe Kaylee had a stalker. Her dad said that Kaylee had told him that she had a stalker or a problem with a stalker. The police haven't been able to run anything down, but did Xana ever say anything?
Kaylee was an absolute beautiful, beautiful girl. It wouldn't surprise me if all of these beautiful kids that we lost had stalkers, okay? They were all like rock stars on Instagram and all the social media. They're vibrant, outgoing kids. You can hardly be on social media anymore without being some kind of weird stalker. So that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think that that's what it was, though. I will be honest with you. I think it's closer than that. I think it's deeper than that. I think I think they have information that they're not giving us, and it's real fishy. That's what I will say.
When you say you think it goes deeper than that, what do you mean?
I mean, I think it was somebody closer than a stalker, and I don't know who. I'm not gonna specify anything like that. I'm just going to say I think that it was somebody, you know, and I think possibly they may have trusted. That's the only thing I can think of, because how could something like this happen so quickly, so quietly, so without any answer, unless it was somebody super close to them. You know what I mean?
Do you think the person who did this had been in that house before?
I think they knew them. I think they may have even been friends with them. I think it had to have been somebody close to them to have been able to get away with it like this. Just without, you know, it just doesn't make sense. None of this makes any sense. It had to have been somebody they trusted that was, you know what I mean? I mean, somebody who knew the house well, somebody who knew them well.
Kara, I cannot tell you how
so quickly without a trace.
I can't tell you just how sorry I am for what you're going through, and the parents of the other kids. I said it before, I'll say it again. It's unimaginable. Just know that there are hundreds of thousands of people across this country tonight who are feeling for you as well. You know, in spirit, you are not alone. There are a lot of people who care deeply for you and your family, and they.
Oh, I didn't mean to exit out of all of that, but no, I wanted to go over that again because I feel like we went over we actually went over Ethan's parents, all of their interviews. Sorry, all of their interviews that they did. We went over the candlelight vigil. I can't say it right. Vigil. Candlelight service. That's what I'll say. That they had for them. And we went over, you know, the beautiful speech that Ethan's mom gave, and that we went over what Maddie Mogan's father said. And then I just wanted to show you what Xana's mom kind of said in the beginning, because she talked about the locks on the door. So that's kind of just what I wanted to kind of get out of that. But I didn't want to, you know, cut her off from talking or anything. Because that was the first time she spoke out. That was her first interview that she had ever done. And that was with News Nation. And let me see. This was the next one I wanted to show you. So I wanted to show you this video too, because it does, it's from two of their friends that came forward. And it's a guy and a girl named, let me see, I think they're Taylor and Madison as their names. They came forward with some stuff that they wanted to say. I'm going to go through the chat for a second. Sorry, guys. If you guys are just now coming in, if you could just, you know, hit the like button, give this video a big thumbs up. And if you like the content, you know, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you. We would love to have you. Sorry if I missed stuff in the chat. And I'm wondering who the source is, that, you know, the new source that's come out and said stuff in this case. I'm just kind of wondering. Oh, actually, before I show the next thing, I will show, I made this today and I forgot to show it to you guys. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. So let me make sure that. I just want to make sure I wanted to make sure that you guys could hear me still and everything with that up. But these are just the injuries that that they went over from the new news source compared to what the PCA said. So for Ethan, the PCA said sharp force injuries. The coroner said they were found in bed. The witness said that the throat was cut and he was found in the doorway. The witness said that both Ethan and Xana were found or were killed on the second floor. Xana, the PCA says for her injuries, they were caused by an edged weapon. So they're different than what they were for Ethan. Ethan's was sharp forced. Hers were caused by an edged weapon, it says. The witness that came forward on Banfield said that Xana fought so hard it severed her fingers. So that does kind of line to what Xana's dad came out and said when he said that she fought like pretty much like hell. So let me get the comments back up there. And then it says here, oh, you hadn't heard it before? Yeah. Yeah, I knew that when Xana's mom first came out and she didn't know what floor she was on, she knew she was on the second floor. She didn't know which one was her bedroom. She didn't know if her license plates were from Idaho or Arizona. She didn't know what kind of car she had. Like, because News Nation, I was asking her a lot of questions and I felt so bad. Like, I was like, don't ask her any more questions. She has no idea. Like she has like no idea what's going on. I got something from Reddit. I thought it was something for Idaho, but it wasn't. So then Maddie, it says the PCA said visible stab wounds. Also for Kaylee, it said visible stab wounds. Found in bed, in Maddie's bed. The witness, same as witness. And the same for Kaylee and for Maddie, the witness said the same thing as the PCA said. But they did say that both Maddie and Kaylee were killed on the third floor in Maddie's room. And that they were both killed first, unalived. I haven't said unalived once when I said I was supposed to. Sorry, my chart is really not that great. It's like off. I can see it now. It's horrible. It's horrible, but I tried. Your girl tried. I was in a little bit of a hurry to make that one today because I wanted to make something for you guys, like a visual to have. Because even the PCA, the injuries are different throughout the PCA. So I'm just wondering. That's what I said, Margot. I thought that maybe it was the Gonzalez lawyer that maybe came out to Banfield. And I say that because of what came out yesterday, the legal documents that came out yesterday from Attorney Barr saying that he doesn't want to be included in this gag order, and neither do the Gonzalez family. They came out and said they weren't associated, directly involved in the case. But I have a feeling that Mr. Gonzalez would say differently if someone asked him if he was directly involved in this case or not. I think that Steve Gonzalez would say, you're damn right, I am directly involved in this case. But as of right now, he's saying he's not. He's saying he's trying to take a seat. He's trying to backpedal and say, no, we're not involved in this case. We have nothing to do with this. This is between the perpetrator and the state. They didn't even say the victims. They said the perpetrator and the state. I said, well, what about the victims? Because I thought it was between the victims because the state works for the victims. I wouldn't have said it like the state. I think maybe his lawyer was messed up with his words. But exactly, yes. They were obviously estranged, not a close mother-daughter relationship. However, she was still her mom and should be treated with respect regardless of her present situation. Yes. Because she's hurting. You can tell. You can tell she's hurting. I couldn't imagine having a child and not, a child pass. I really couldn't. Oh, you did hear that, Susie Blue? You heard that someone was laying on top of the stairs? He wants justice. He does. See, I thought that Kara was, but then when I looked up the jail roster, she wasn't in there. But then when I looked up if she was still, sorry guys, my throat won't clear. I looked up if she was still a wanted woman, and it said that she was. So I'm confused because there is a document out there saying that she was in jail and her bond was $250 or something like that. Was X on TikTok in bed, or was there a desk there? I don't know which TikTok that one was. Oh, she was in bed on TikTok. Okay, I know what you mean now. Okay, Sarah. Yeah, she was probably on, I would say she was laying in bed. She probably didn't even have a desk in her room. I would say she didn't even have a desk in there because it wasn't very big. She probably just had her bed and like maybe a little night table beside it. That's what I would assume. Just because I think the rooms were really small. And then with her having a boyfriend as big as Ethan, probably wouldn't want to put anything else in there. That boy was big. He's a big boy, you know. Oh, you heard someone paid her bail? Oh, wow. Yeah, Cheryl, I think you're right. All I have to do is just, yeah, you are. Because we heard that in the interview. We did hear that in the interview that she did the other day. We went over all of Ethan's mom's interviews. Yeah, so Xana was on TikTok in her room, but so I don't know. So it could have went down even like this. Like she could have been on TikTok and sat her phone down and maybe took that bag of food out to the kitchen. And then her phone was just playing on TikTok in the background. I wonder if they know if she was actually scrolling through or if it was just pushing the content through. You know, like if there was like only a couple seconds in one video that, you know what I mean, she would watch and then maybe a minute in the next video because she liked something or... So they ate the DoorDash, it looks like, because it looks like part of the drink's gone and there's lipstick on the straw of the drink. So what I think is, I think that Ethan and Xana ate the DoorDash together. Because, I mean, I don't know. I would think that you'd eat with your boyfriend. I don't think that he would be passed out. Like, Ethan doesn't look like he'd be that type to pass out. He was a big boy. Like I said, you know, just like tall and like, you know, just looked like he could hold his own. Did she actually order the food? That we don't know, Margot. They said that she did. I mean, they're saying like in the PCA, they kind of make it out to where it's like, yeah, I mean, but they don't tell us, but they don't not tell us. So that's what I want to know. So I'm wondering, well, I think that could be near the bed, but I'm wondering why isn't any of that, if there was so much that is coming outside of the house, why isn't it anywhere else outside of the house? Out the front door, out the back door, on the door, on the glass, on any picture that we see anywhere inside of the house, on any picture we see outside of the house, on that white trash bag that was out the back door. How about the trash can that's sitting right out the back door? With all the trash. I mean, there's nothing red, nothing anywhere. And you know, some web sleuth would have found it by now. We would have found it. I mean, we would have. What is it? So, you know, some people in here, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, yeah, thank you. I do have like a timeline up. I think I actually took them off though, because they were under the wrong tab. They were like where I couldn't talk behind them. But let me see if let me see. I did do a video over them. This one. And then, the one for Bryan messed up. I couldn't get that one, but this one was the one for the girls. For like the time, the night of the crime. From 9 o'clock that evening until the 911 call the next morning. And then I have one for Bryan Kohberger too, all the way through that day, the first day, like the 13th. But yeah, I could use your timeline. Thank you so much. You have it in different colors, so I need to just look at the computer better. It's on my, it didn't pull up on my big screen. It just pulled up on my MacBook. That's why I was like trying to watch. I was trying to read it. And that's why I was like, I'm blind over here. I don't know if I can read this or not. Unless I'm really like looking at the screen. So. And then. My screen is so bright. Cheap construction, yeah. I don't think it's red mold though. I definitely think it's blood because they actually had a legal analyst come on and say that they don't even have those kind of piping right there to do that. There's no piping that like, if it's like from like the rust or something, I don't know. I don't know exactly what red mold is, but I know that it wasn't from rust. They were talking about like rusting and things like that. A blood splatter analysis type of person was on one of the, like Duty Ron or something, which take everything with a grain of salt because, it is YouTube. But they were saying that it was definitely blood. And then I think that somebody actually mentioned that it wasn't the other day on the news, and someone was like, who told you that? But I don't know. Yeah, so did you, the HVAC guy, okay, did you hear, Margot? I thought that they had an HVAC guy come in there and look in the house. Didn't they have somebody come there? And I'm wondering why they did. If they were trying to get stuff out, like evidence out of the vent, or if they were trying to get something out of, would HVAC would just do heating and cooling, right? Chloe's mom, it's not mold, rust, red paint, it's blood. It's just, and it's a lot. Yeah, and it's it's a lot. I'm anemic, so I can tell you. And if you're drinking, your blood's gonna be thinner. They got the filter out of the house. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, people can't get away with anything nowadays. Filter vents, yeah, for the DNA. Wow. Okay, so this video is shorter. It's of two of their friends, and they just kind of talk about the house and the layout of the house.
Killing gripped. So not since the Amanda Knox case, when the American student and her boyfriend were accused of stabbing her roommate, has a brutal college killing gripped the attention of the nation in the way that this story has. And it has raised so many questions about who did this, how did they do it, why did they do it. The Moscow, Idaho killer who slaughtered these 4 students in the prime of their lives is out there somewhere at this hour. And now people are starting to speak out. Zana Kernodle says his daughter, Xana's autopsy shows that she tried to fight off her killer. The sister of Kaylee Gonsalves warns you of Idaho students to get out now, saying, quote, you are not safe until this sicko is found. 2 University of Idaho students who knew some of these victims join me now, Madison Fitzgerald and Tanner McLean. Madison and Tanner, I know you're both in university leadership, and we thank both of you for being with us today. I know this is just an unimaginably hard time for all of you as you head off to Thanksgiving. Madison, tell me a little bit about your relationship to some of these individuals, and when's the last time that you were in that house?
I don't recall the last time I was in that house. I was very close with Xana and Ethan. It was Xana's home, and she was just the most welcoming and kind person that I'd ever known. A lot of people came in and out of that house just because of how kind all 4 of them were, and welcoming to have visitors and guests over all the time. Ethan and Xana it was a pleasure to know them. And this is something that has truly rocked our community.
Let me ask you this, Madison, from being in the house, how I understand that there were several bedrooms on 3 different floors. Was Xana's bedroom on the same level as the other 2 women's bedroom? How close together were they?
I believe that Xana's bedroom was on a different floor than the other 2 bedrooms.
And what about the other 2 roommates? And I believe we have pictures of the other 2 roommates who thankfully survived this and are cooperating, were understood. Where was their bedroom?
I'm not sure where their bedrooms were located.
Can you explain how you would enter the house when you went there? Did you go through this sliding door that we're hearing about, or did you have to use a code to enter the house to visit Xana and Ethan?
There were 2 points of entry to the house. Most frequently, people used the door that was located on the basement, and then you took a set of stairs to get to the main floor.
And was it your experience that you would that you knew the code, or that people knew the code, or was it did you have to use the code to enter the house?
When I would go there, the code wouldn't be activated, so we could just open the door and get in.
Okay. Tanner, you're the student body president. I'm sure that that's important leadership at this moment. What was your relationship to these individuals, and what can you tell us about them?
So I knew Xana, and all 4 of them truly touched countless students on campus, the lives of countless students. They were each, social butterflies, would always be saying hi to them out around campus or off campus, and the impact has been felt across the entire Vandal community. It's been extremely difficult since their loss, and they were close with everyone I knew and all my friends, and which is why this past week students have been leaving. I left myself because of just how difficult it's been in Moscow emotionally right now.
So the 2 other individuals who lived in the house, the other 2 women, Bethany and Dylan, did either of you know Bethany or Dylan? Do you know them?
I didn't know them personally, but I heard that they were of the same light, kind, genuine individuals.
Tanner, have you ever heard about a stalker on campus or anything to that effect? There were reports that there was someone that some people were concerned about back in September.
Back in September, there was a vandal alert sent out to students. Someone on just a sidewalk did make some sort of threat, but I can't speak to that. That's more of a question for the Moscow authorities.
So, Tanner, what are you all thinking about what happened here? Obviously, nobody knows for sure, but do you feel like this is an outsider, or that this is somebody that they likely knew?
I really don't want to speculate on this. Right now, students want answers, and all of us are very heartbroken, scared, and emotional during this time. But I can't speculate as to what happened. All we can do as a student body is hope and pray that the authorities make some quick discoveries and bring somebody to justice.
Absolutely. Madison, in the beginning, the police said that they believed it was an act of passion or a targeted account, and that other people didn't have to be concerned. How do you feel about that now?
I fully trust what the Moscow PD and what the university are saying about our safety within the community and on campus. I do know that students are facing imminent fear right now and are fleeing campus because of that. As Tanner said, I hope that we come to a quick discovery and are able to bring someone to justice.
It's horrible, horrible. And we all feel for all of you and your community at the University of Idaho. Thank you both for being here. Come back if there's more to say, and good to have you both. Thanks for your time today.
I'm trying to see if I can find that for you. You can try to see if this tab is it. I'll copy and paste this in the chat. Maybe that. I just looked up Ethan Chapin's like memorial service, and that's what popped up. So maybe that's what it is. Why would people comment on what Hunter had to say? Because they think that maybe Hunter was at the scene that day? I wonder why other creators were commenting about Hunter. I mean, he's the brother of somebody that was viciously killed. But yeah, that should be the site. If you just look up, if you just like Google Ethan Chapin's memorial service, it should pop up for you. If it's on there, I didn't really look to see if that's what it was. But it looks like that's where it would be. I didn't know that they broadcasted that live. I know that like Kaylee's family didn't want to even have the service until the killer was caught, because they didn't want people to they didn't want the killer to show up there. So I thought that everyone's family was kind of following the same kind of mindset. That's why I didn't even know that it was televised or broadcasted. Okay, let's see. So this right here. Okay, so this is the interview with the pastor that came out, and he spoke at the Vigil for. He spoke on behalf of Dylan and Bethany, and I haven't watched this since the night of it, so I wanted to watch this again too, just to see what he has to say, and for them, you know, he's talking on their behalf here, so.
They both with to Xana. My name is Chris. I'm one of the pastors here, and I'm going to be reading 2 different letters, one from Dylan and one from Bethany. This is from Dylan Mortensen. To Xana and Ethan, the 2 best friends but perfect pair together. They had this unstoppable, loving relationship. They both would look at each other with so much love. Everyone knew they were the perfect duo. They both had this fun, passionate, crazy, but good energy. They both were the kind of people who cared about everyone and would help anyone. Xana was the life of the party. If she was there, it was going to be great. But Xana was so much more than a girl who could just have fun. She was strong, intelligent, hardworking, and a beautiful person. Xana was taking this math class, a class I was also taking, and the amount of effort and hard work she put into that class was the only reason I tried to pass it. She would constantly uplift me and tell me I could do it. Xana was also a very big people person. She could make a conversation with anyone, any friend and any parent. She loved the parents, especially the moms. Every tailgate, she would talk to a new mom, get their phone number, and text them. Everyone that got the chance to know her loved her. I was and am so lucky to have experienced a life with her, as her being one of my closest friends. I didn't know Ethan until this semester. I wish I would have gotten to know him more. He was so sweet and loving to Xana. Xana was like his whole world, and you could see it in him. While Ethan was like a friend, he was also like an older brother to me. I got to experience what an older brother would be like. He was this goofy guy who I could make sarcastic jokes to. Every time I saw him, he'd give the sarcastic jokes right back. He was also loving to my friends and to me. He cared like Xana about everyone. He was easygoing and easy to talk to. I'm glad I got the time I had to know Ethan, and I'm so thankful to have gotten to know such an amazing person. I know somewhere Xana and Ethan are together, keeping each other company, watching us and telling us it's okay, and that we have each other. Maddie and Kaylee, the inseparable duo, the two best friends that were like sisters. Maddie and Kaylee were like second moms to me. They taught me a lot on how to be a responsible adult, but also how to live life happy. They changed the way I look at life and how to enjoy life to the fullest. Maddie was the cute ray of sunshine. She didn't ever have a negative thought in her mind. I don't think I ever have seen Maddie stressed about anything. This happy-go-lucky kind of girl who loved life to the fullest. I got to know Maddie last year and loved her when I met her. And then I got the chance to get closer with her this year. I'm so lucky to have gotten to experience life with her in it. She had this passionate love for everyone. Everyone who knew her got to feel her love. She was so compassionate to everyone and wanted everyone to be happy. She got this new hot pink puffy jacket and wore it everywhere. She was a very big pink color kind of girl. She would do this cute little skipping dance every time I saw her. She just had these cute little mannerisms that I loved. She was such a beautiful person inside and out. She had pretty much her whole life together. I missed seeing her little dances when we would go out and seeing her laugh and smile. I loved seeing her smile because when she would smile, you could see her eyes and her little button nose smile too. And Kaylee was one of the most hardworking, strong, driven people I have ever met. If she wanted to do something, she'd work for it. She was the kind of person that I look up to. She, like Maddie, had her whole life together. A few weeks ago, she had bought a Range Rover all by herself. When I went to see her and she had a brand new Range Rover, I remember just thinking, holy crap, Kaylee, I'm so proud of you, and she was able to buy it all by herself. Even though she was a girl so driven and hardworking, she loved to have fun and to joke around. She would come up to a couple of us and be like, guys, you know how I'm like such a prankster and just love to prank people? And she would start laughing and we would laugh and get all excited to do a little prank on one of our friends. And then we proceed to start the prank. Kaylee would just be laughing and smiling about how funny it was. She also had one of the brightest smiles, and I would always compliment her to make sure she knew she did. And she would be like, really? And get so happy when I complimented her. To my 4 best friends who deserve to live a long, happy life, my life was greatly impacted to have known these 4 beautiful people. My people who changed my life in so many ways and made me so happy. I know it will be hard to not have the 4 of them in our lives, but I know Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee would want us to live life and be happy, and they would want us to celebrate their lives. To the people I will always love forever, and to the people I will remember and miss so much, to Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee. And this is from Bethany. Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan were truly all one of a kind. They all lit up any room they walked into and were gifts to this world. I wish every day that I could give them all one last hug.
One thing I will say about like the drug angle is I don't believe this has anything to do with drugs. Also, like the fraternity house, I don't believe this has anything to do with them. But with that being said, there are drugs in fraternity houses. There are. But I don't know if you guys have watched the news lately, but they're deciding that they're going to give kids Narcan in high school to take to high school with them. So that way, when they do get high, that's just like, I mean, to me, that's just like saying that's a good idea to go ahead and start using in high school. We'll give you Narcan so you can get back to class to make sure that you're alive to go back to class. I heard that on the news the other day. And I said, oh my God, thank God I don't have no damn kids. I don't know what I would do. I would, if I'm titanium built, my kid would be like, I mean, I don't even know. My kid would be like Titanium Built Junior. I'd be like, you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. That's why I'm scared to have kids in this day and age. But yeah. So, so that's what they said about that. So I think that, like, I don't think that kids think about drugs like we thought about drugs when we were in college. Like, when I was in college, that shit scares the shit out of me. I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't, experiment, but not like what they're doing nowadays. I would have, no, I would have been on, but I guess, but yeah, just Narcan, go back to school. I remember my niece, she was like, she drank or something before school one time. And I thought her mom was going to die. She can, we all do something stupid, but I don't think that these girls were doing anything like that. They weren't doing anything. They might've smoked a little joint here and there or something, took a little hit, but and I'm not just saying that because I'm naive. I'm not naive. I'm like really not. I just don't think that they would that they had that in their mind. I think they like to drink. Hell yeah. I think they like to drink and have some fun on the weekends. But as far as we know, they're all on the dean's list. So they were able to keep their grades up. Normally if you're on drugs, if you're a drug addict, an addict is what I'm saying. Like if you're addicted to drugs, you're not going to keep your grades up. You're not going to be going to school because there's going to be times that you can't get your drugs and you're not going to go to school if you don't have your drugs. Point blank, period. Drugs were different 20 years ago. They were all hallucinogens and stuff back then. Now it's like, ooh. But Narcan does save so many lives. I don't want to take away from that, at all. Thank God for it, because there are people that are addicted out there. It looks like Chris said, her daughter is an addict. But as she said, she saved lives and turned around and got high. Yeah, it's hard. It is heartbreaking. It's extremely heartbreaking. Yeah, there's no functioning drug addiction. Yeah, just like we used to say, a functioning alcoholic. We used to say that about my dad. There's no such thing as even a functioning alcoholic. Yeah, he might go to work and every day, but there's other things you're not doing right. So you just can't function and do that at the same time. But I'll go ahead and play the pastor the rest of the way. This is a really sweet little letter that he was writing. I'm reading from the surviving roommates because I kind of forgot this part in the when we were watching the actual visual live because I was crying so much. I think I kind of missed a lot of this. Where can I go? There we go.
And say how much I love them. I've thought a lot about what I would say to each of them if I could. Kaylee, you were truly one of the funniest people I've ever known. No matter what you said or what story you were telling, you found a way to make it so funny and have us all laughing. You were so sweet and giving. I was always so impressed by how you knew what you wanted and you would go after it and nothing would stop you. You always lit up a room with your big smile and big personality that was so lovable and enjoyable, and I will love and miss you forever. Ethan, you had the brightest, most fun personality. It was amazing how you could walk into a room and the whole vibe of the room would go up and everyone was just instantly happier. You always had the biggest smile on your face. Your smile and your laugh were so contagious, it made everyone want to be around you at all times because you were just such a good time and such a fun, happy person. You had so much love in your heart for everyone, but it especially shined in your relationship with Xana. The way you loved her was truly admirable and so special. It made people believe in true love. I love and miss you so much, Ethan. Xana, there was no one out there like you. When I think of you, I think of a loving, fun, energetic, funny, passionate, determined, sweet person. I was always so impressed by you. Every single day, without a doubt, you tried to better yourself and were so determined to accomplish all of the goals that you'd set for yourself. When someone mentions the life of the party, everyone thinks of you. You had the most charismatic personality and always made everyone smile. Anyone who ever met you instantly wanted to be friends with you and always wanted to be around you. You always made anything that we did so much fun and memorable. Not only did all the kids love you, but so did all of the parents. You always had all of the moms' phone numbers because they all just loved you so much, even after only meeting you for a short time. There really wasn't one person that didn't love you and your amazing personality. I love you so much and miss you like crazy. And Maddie, I don't even know where to begin. You were the sweetest and most loving person I've ever known. You had so much love in your heart for so many people. You're not only one of my best friends, but you were the older sister that I'd always wanted. No matter what, you always made me feel so loved and special. You always made sure to include me in everything. I was so beyond happy and proud that you were my big. I would introduce you to everyone and anyone, telling them that you were my big. I would even introduce you multiple times to one person in the same night. I always looked up to you so much. You were always so organized, determined, and had your priorities straight, and you always gave me the best advice. And no matter what, you would always help me and were always willing to help. I really believe that you would have been so successful and would have accomplished all of your goals in life because that's just who you were. Thank you for making my life so fun and enjoyable with all of the memories and adventures that we had. Thank you for being a ray of sunshine. Thank you for always being there for me no matter what and always having my back. Thank you for always finding a way to make me smile or laugh and for making my life better just by being your friend. You always told me that everything happens for a reason, but I'm having a really hard time trying to understand the reason for this. Maddie, I truly don't know what I'm supposed to do without you. You honestly made my life so much better. I just want you to know that I will always love you and miss you forever. You all were gifts to this world in your own special way, and it just won't be the same without you. I love you all so much and miss you all so much. You will never be forgotten and will forever be in all of our hearts.
Oh, I don't want it to do that. Okay. Well, I was gonna go into some other notes I had, but I think I'm not. Oh, I knew I was gonna do that. I was trying not to make it do that. But I think that I'll end it on a good note. That was a good one. So I'll ask my questions in the next live because I do want to go over. I still want to go over Kaylee's family's interviews and then Xana's family's interviews, just that way, so I can complete them all. We did Ethan's and we did Maddie's the other day, and I had a lot of people actually comment below the video and just say that they were really glad that there was one centralized place that they could go and they could see all of the interviews all together in kind of chronological order, as best as I can put them together for you guys. And there's a lot with Kaylee's family, because they've been the most spoken out of all of them. And I don't know if my family would be that spoken or if they would. My dad would either be exactly like, Ethan's dad, where he can't say 2 words, or he would be just like Steve Gonzalez, where he can't say less than, he can't keep his mouth shut, it would be, my dad would be one or the other. Because I just, there would be no in between for that man. He would either be on the ground a sobbing mess, or he would be, in the police's throats. But either way, I would still love him. But I do appreciate everybody for coming in tonight. If you guys could like the video, really does help send it into the algorithm. If you guys could comment on the video after the video is done, that helps send it out into the algorithm as well. All those little things help my channel grow, and it helps me grow, helps you grow, it helps us grow. We did it. We did 6,000 subscribers, guys. I can't believe it. It's just really nice that we have a good group here too. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence in this case, and I have a lot of stuff I want to point out too. So, but I was like, man, that was just a really good way to end it, because that was a good. That pastor was a sweet guy. But I will be back on tomorrow. I'm going to talk Alex Murdaugh probably tomorrow, because even though it's just been since yesterday afternoon, it feels like it's been forever since we've talked about him. I think it's because we did 2, Idaho cases, or Idaho back-to-back lives. So, yep, thank you all for joining. 3:15 a.m. there. Oh my gosh, go to bed, Ina. Thank you so much for staying up. Oh, is Vincent in here? I didn't even see it. Summer told on you. I guess he was in here last night. I didn't see him, but he was in here last night, he said. He's like, you didn't even say anything to me. Oh, there he is. I didn't even see him. I said, yeah, I didn't even see him. That was funny. So look at that. All new members enjoy 1 free month of membership. So Vincent's there. Make sure you stick back and click back with us, because he likes to give out memberships. So I will see you guys all in the next live. Thank you again, Lisa, for that last night, for $20 last night. I appreciate that. I said it in the live, but it was like halfway through or quarter way through. And I was like, oh no, I forgot to say something to Lisa. So, and thank you, Margot, for the super chat tonight. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody else for super chat, super thanks, the comments, everything. You guys are awesome. I love you guys so much. I will see you all tomorrow afternoon sometime. Have a good evening, guys.